Godzilla X Kong had a surprisingly Christian message somehow.
Spirit Life!
Hey, I'm Bruce on Spirit Life, and I do Christian commentary, and I was shocked to see that Godzilla X Kong, despite being kind of just a big dumb movie, what I mean by that is it was just there for the spectacle. It wasn't trying to be really deep. It wasn't trying to be really spiritual. Nevertheless, had a spiritual message that I got out of it, and you might say, well, that's a real stretch, but hey, God can speak through anything. He spoke through a donkey in the Bible. So, I'm going to share that in just a second. But first, let me just say that the movie, I feel like, is appropriately rated, PG-13. I don't spend a lot of time trying to explain whether you should or should not watch a film. I just like to do more of the commentary side of it. But I did bring my 9-year-old up to my 14-year-old and my wife and everybody. The kids had a fun time. It was mostly appropriate, some language, a little bit of gore in the sense of, there's big monsters beating each other up. But mostly I thought it was okay for that age range. Anyway, the movie was kind of a big dumb movie. What I mean by that is it's not attempting to be a really deep philosophical, spiritual allegory or anything. It's just for spectacle. And it was, if you look at it that way, it was fine. It was fun. I had fun in the movie. I'm not trying to bash the movie, but actually I enjoyed some of the characters, especially the first third, the first half of the movie. Kind of kept the suspense building, and I was like, okay, we're going somewhere. At the end of the movie, I think the producers finally just said, look, let's just cut this. Just throw everything at the camera that you can because we've got to get to the fight. We promised a big fight with giant titans. We've got a Godzilla monster and another ice monster and a couple giant gorillas. We just got to clash them together at the end, just like you're taking your toys and smashing them together. And at the end, that's what you get. And it does that really well. It's fun. Some of the times I was laughing at the movie instead of laughing with the movie. My daughter and I were especially surprised at the appearance of Mothra. Let me just say, I guess Mothra was in a previous film. I think I fell asleep watching Godzilla King of the Monsters, where he fought King Ghidorah. Apparently Mothra showed up at some point in that film. I don't remember it. Anyway, in this movie, she really seems to come out of nowhere, literally. A character lifts up her hand into this golden sparkle dust, and Mothra appears, forms out of nothing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how that's supposed to work. The movie didn't do any effort to really explain that. And so, whatever. At that point of the film, it's the end of the movie, you're like, whatever. They had this giant exposition dump, and they talk about Mothra. I don't know what was going on, but one thing that stuck out to me was that there was a society in the subterranean part of Hollow Earth who worshipped Mothra. And at first, I'm a Christian. I'm really zealous for Jesus. I want only Jesus to get worship and attention. We owe our allegiance to God. God created the universe. He's holy. He's transcendent. There's nobody like him. He's the uncreated, eternal, all-existing being who created everything else. Everything else is in one category, which is that stuff that's created. And then he's in a separate category of his own. We owe him obedience and attention. That's worship, right? Well, actually, the movie kind of tweaked my perspective just a little bit. And here's why. When the movie talked about how the people worshipped Mothra, it's because Mothra met the needs of the people. And here's what's going to happen in real life. Anything or anybody to whom we turn to meet our needs is going to become our God, or at least they'll fill the void that God is supposed to fill. So, a lot of times people look to other people. They look to each other. They look to romantic relationships. Sometimes they look to climbing the corporate ladder, but they look to something to replace that void in our heart that was created for the Lord. Jesus gave the example of money. He said you can't serve both God and money. Well, how do you serve money? Do you bow down to the money and do you light candles to the money and say, oh, money, you're so special? No. You let the money serve you. The way you serve money is by letting the money serve you. Or in other words, let the money meet your needs. Many people use money as their source of security. They use money as their source of pride, their source of happiness. Instead of having transcendent joy and peace that passes understanding, they just have temporary, conditional, circumstantial happiness based on money. And that's their God. And I've been there. We've all done that. Accidentally, we can turn anything into an idol. But Jesus said you can't serve both God and money. You can only choose one or the other. And in order for Jesus to be our master, he has to be our servant. Jesus served his disciples. He washed their feet. That was just outrageous. If you really think about what that means, I mean, Jesus was washing. This is a culture where you don't wash someone's feet. That's like the lowest job. It's lower than a garbage man or whatever. And he was a servant. And Peter said, rightfully so, you can't do this. You're the leader. The leader is the one who's supposed to receive service. But Jesus said, no, I'm here to serve you. Think about what Jesus did on the cross. We could not accomplish what Jesus did. None of us have lived a sinless life. Only Jesus did that. He died in our place. He served us when we could not give anything to him. We couldn't give back. We couldn't be worthy of that sacrifice. But he sacrificed when we were still his enemies. Jesus came to serve. And in order to serve Jesus, in order to worship him, yes, we adore him, yes, we obey him, but we have to let him be the one who meets our needs. In other words, he's got to fill the place in our lives as the one to whom we turn for help, to the one to whom we turn for assistance, for reassurance, for comfort, for security, for provision, for everything. He's got to be our everything. And so to serve God, we have to let him serve us. Going back to Godzilla X Kong, how does that matter? Well, the people who worshipped Mothra, well, obviously you shouldn't worship anything that's created because you got to worship the one who's higher than that, who created the creation, right? But they worshipped the one who met their needs, who protected them, who served them. And in real life, we have to have that attitude with the Lord. If we're not looking to him as the one who serves us, who provides to us, who helps us in our time of need, who comforts us and all those other things, we're going to turn somewhere else. We're going to have our own Mothra, our own idol somewhere in our lives if we're not making God the one to fill that position as he rightfully should. I don't know. What do you think? Was this just a big dumb movie and you didn't see anything that deep or that spiritual? That's fine if so. Did you enjoy the film? Maybe you saw something spiritual that I didn't see. A lot of times you guys have really insightful comments. That's one of my favorite things about this channel. You guys have really cool insights, really good analogies. The Lord speaks through movies to you and through situations and politics and other things that I do commentary on, and you give really good insight. If you found any value in this video, share it. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already on the Spirit Life team, and go ahead and like the video. Of course, it really does help the channel, and I appreciate it so much. This is Bruce on Spirit Life.